Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty. Okay, we should be live right now. Yes, we're live. We're good.
We are live.
Put the camera over here a little bit. There we go.
Okay.
Put you in there a little bit there.
How we good on sound, right?
Yeah,
Should be able to hear us.
Yeah, we should good on sound. Yep.
All right,
All right.
awesome. Okay.
Cool.
What's up, family? It's Saturday.
Yes, it is. My name is Rich Guzman.
And my name is Ace Guzman.
We are Ace and Rich.
Yes. And if you're just joining us for the first time, every Friday night, normally at 8 o'clock, we do go live every single week for Ace and Rich Live Podcast, where Rich and I literally break down the strategies, the mindset shifts, and the moves that you need to have in order that actually people can learn from me and Rich.
Absolutely.
Okay, that helped us when we actually build a sustainable, profitable business in the digital landscape.
Yes, absolutely. It's been an amazing journey, and it just keeps getting better and better.
It is. And I want to address the elephant in the room. Tonight's topic couldn't be more timely. As many of you know, we've seen yet another major collapse in the home-based business industry this week, actually on Friday. What's worse is that they shut down without even paying out commissions to the people that did the work.
Yeah, this is what we heard. We don't have the facts on that yet, but this is just rumor right now.
At the moment, we don't know if they are going to get paid or if they're not going to get paid. But a lot of speculation is saying that they may not, which is not good.
I'll tell you one thing. If it's true and it's fact,
right?
I would say that's just dirty, downright dirty.
Yeah, that's real dirty.
Yeah.
That's real dirty. However, here's what makes tonight very different, okay? It's a very solemn night because we know some people that are leaders. We know a lot of marketers that have built their dynasty on the fact that they built it with the network marketing industry for many, many years. We're talking more than 10, 15, 20 years plus. And they built solid profit that's all they live on.
Right.
You know, others have multiple streams of income, and then they just have their network marketing opportunity on the side.
Yeah,
right?
some people are prepared for this kind of stuff.
They do.
Other people don't because they don't have the experience.
Exactly. So what's worse is that when a company decides to shut down, it affects people's mindset. People panic. There's like blood on the streets at the point right there, right? People are worried. Yeah. People have, breakdowns. People are pissed. People, they have mixed emotions, and then they start doing things that they shouldn't be doing, right? Until like the facts and everything is laid out. We have to be very careful with this because we've been through this ourselves. So who better to talk about this particular topic tonight than us? And we didn't plan on talking about this until after we heard the news. And we were like, oh, here goes everybody else. They're talking about it, right, Rich? So we might as well talk about it.
Yes.
Am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, tonight's all about the mindset and the business, strategies that ensure your success.
Yes.
Isn't tied to any single company.
No.
This is a conversation that we need to really talk about because, again, we went through this. We've been through this.
Yes.
And not just once.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
So who do we have here on the live before we dive into the major part of the content? Let's see here. We have Candace Tran. Hey, coaches. Glad to be here. Glad
nice
for
to
you
see
to make
you.
it. Thank you. Mark Gassert. Hello, Mark. Good to see you.
Hey, Mark. Nice to see you.
Donald Candies. You promised to be here. He is here.
Donald Candies. What's going on?
Thank you so much for you guys being here. And tag up people that you know that are involved with network marketing that is probably being affected by this right now. Maybe they need to hear these words that we're going to share tonight from our experience, and maybe this will help them. So
again, it will be from experience and not just theory.
Right. Now, listen, whether it be network marketing or affiliate marketing, any company can do this to you if you're not careful. Okay? Really. And you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. So at this point, like I was telling Rich earlier today, I said, Rich, this is DEFCON 4 at this point right now for these individual distributors and consultants that are going through this right now.
Guys, if you're ready for some real talk, let's get some fire emojis in the comments.
Let's do that.
We're about to dish it tonight.
Okay. So why do home-based type business companies suddenly just collapse? Let's talk about it. Okay. Let's start with the question everyone's asking. Why do these companies do this? And why does it happen often with zero warning? Rich?
Well, why do these companies in the home-based business, just suddenly shut down, right? It's really a good question.
It is.
And why does it, often happen with any warning whatsoever? Because, again, that's happened to us. So,
right. I just said that.
Yeah.
You're repeating me.
No, I'm just saying that I want you to really understand that is something that a lot of people really are dealing with, and it's happening quite often than not.
Here's the thing, Rich. The first major reason is mismanagement. And we're talking like in the financial area. The financial mismanagement, many companies create compensation plans. We know about these comp plans. There are all different types of comp plans out there. But some of them are mathematically unsustainable in the long term. Okay? They're designed to attract distributors very quickly. But then they can't support the payouts once the growth tips down and plateaus. That's what happens.
Well, the first major reason is the mismanagement.
Yeah, it is.
That's really the problem.
So let's talk about the mismanagement. Why is this happening?
Because many companies create compensation plans that are pretty much, it's unsustainable.
But let's talk about why is it so unsustainable? Because, so they have deeper pockets, they have banks that helps them out, they have loans that they actually get, right?
Yeah.
That's what they use and they leverage.
Well, they're paying out, 60, 70% for every dollar in commission.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And they still need to cover the product costs, operations, marketing, overhead. And those numbers simply don't add up long term. The second major factor is, regulatory challenges. The FTC has been really coming down really hard on these network marketing companies.
They have.
And a lot of them are changing more to affiliate style type of models and stuff like that.
We've been seeing that.
And it's really sad. And, other agencies have increasingly scrutinizing income claims and business models, saying, "I've made all this money," and they never did. Right? A lot of lies going on. They're not following FTC guidelines.
Bad apples.
Bad apples.
Bad apples.
We've seen companies get shut down not because of the company itself or company owners, but we've seen companies get shut down from a bad apple.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely
which is not good.
Yeah. Another huge factor is market saturation. Okay, because let's face it, every opportunity follows an S curve. So when you look at this S curve of growth, there's this exciting startup phase, and then the explosive growth phase happens, and then inevitably the plateau, right? The dip, like I was talking about. And when a new distributor signs up, slows down, literally what happens is the whole business model could collapse, even if it wasn't built on sustainable retail sales of the physical product. Because we know a lot of these products are really great. Customers and consumers love to use them. There are people that are actually buying every single month and they have to meet a certain requirement. And we know how the rules are and how it goes. But damn, man, literally, it's messed up. I know you guys have mixed feelings. Like I said, I saw a lot of newsfeed information coming in my feed. I follow a lot of marketers, a lot of leaders out there. They got bank. But now with this happening, I hope they got their tails covered, because this is exactly what we're talking about that can happen to anyone, anytime, at any moment without warning.
Oh yeah, and don't forget the leadership problems.
Yes.
Right? There's leadership problems in some of these companies. Right? We've seen founders have different visions. They've gotten into conflicts, or simply lack of experience to navigate those challenges.
That's true.
And it happens quite a bit. One bad decision at the top can just ripple throughout the whole organization.
Like wildfire.
Yes.
Like wildfire, and it affects everybody's downline. So the reality is many home-based business companies are designed for explosive growth. And then what happens is the harsh truth, most recruiters won't tell you that when they're trying to get you to join their ground floor opportunity, okay, you got to think about that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, really think about that for a second.
Yep. Let me look at the chat here.
Yeah, let's look at the chat.
Don McCandy says it happened to me twice. 2 companies shut down on me. I'm sorry to hear that, honestly. And like I said, this is definitely something that is familiar with a lot of people, or someone has not faced it quite yet and they don't know about it.
Oh my God.
And to have this kind of information put out there by actual marketers, it's important to have so that you prepare for the future in case this shit happens to you. Sorry about that.
Well, no, that's
it slipped because I get mad.
It's justified.
Yeah, I get mad because there's much more things to talk about tonight because I want to address a lot of things about some of the things I've seen some of the leaders say, and I'm not going to pick on you, but I have to say it. I have to get it off my chest because I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to have to say it, okay? So let's talk about the next typical thing that's happening. So what can you build, okay, or how can you build a business that survives any type of collapse, right?
Well, the most important question isn't even about why companies fail. It's about how you can position yourself. And we talk about this.
I love that.
We love this because we talk about this quite a bit, even still to this day, right? To thrive, how to thrive regardless of what any single company does. This is why me and Ace have been able to survive in this industry for so many years, right? It's so important.
Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, the most important thing you got to understand is a lot of people think that their business is the company that they represent. But your real business, your true business, is your personal brand, your audience, and your ability to give value, to provide it, right, to your relationships that you're building over time. Like, literally, that's what we stand for.
Well, I mean, if you're a smart entrepreneur, you know how to survive when these industries shift.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And understand one fundamental principle: never build on borrowed land. Okay. It's like quicksand. I learned this from my mentor a long time ago. He said, "Do not build your business on quicksand. Build it on solid foundation right from the beginning." And in the beginning, I got to be honest, I didn't really understand what he meant by that. But as we've gone through our journey, and what has happened to us from multiple companies, I lost my company even before I met you.
You did.
Right? So it's like,
you did.
And that was my first 6-figure business.
And I have experienced what top earners do when they jump ship and you have to go with them, because I was in the downline in the network marketing opportunity. And when the leader decided to call it quits and leave, they took the whole organization and moved over. And then real quick, they made a success story.
Yeah.
See, this is the stuff they don't want to talk about. They don't want to mention it. They don't want to say it because you know what? They're saving it all for later on. But we're going to talk about it tonight. You know why? Because we've been through it. There's
a lot of people. This is off the cuff here, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are going through a really hard time right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the leaders, because the true leaders know exactly what to do. And what they're going to do is they're going to pivot and bring their organization to another company immediately. Everybody says, "Oh, well, I want to just take a step back and kick back and relax." That's not what to do right now.
No.
That's the last thing you should do. Like, you got to think right now, like, what is my next move?
Yeah.
But if you don't know, you can start from like ground zero all over again.
Yeah, definitely. But let's come back to, I want to run off on a tangent here, but here's the thing, right? So we need to break this down for you, okay? Because you need to be prepared. So when an entire business is dependent on a company's replicated website, because this is what happens in network marketing. They have replicated websites and their compensation plan and their physical, tangible products. You're essentially building on that borrowed land that you talked about.
Yep.
Okay. And then the landlord can evict you at any time. We've experienced that multiple times. Many of you probably have shared with us many stories in our consults that exactly what happened to you. You thought that the company was going to be around for a long term. And then all of a sudden, like not even in less than 5 years, it was gone. It was like, how did that happen? Right. And you invested and went all in. It happens.
And speaking about not getting paid, we've had quite a bit of companies over the past who have like stopped paying us because of these reasons. So it's real.
Yeah.
It really is.
Now, instead of focusing on building assets that you control, what is it, Rich, that you wanted to say?
Well, you got to build your personal brand, like you said earlier, right? You got to build your email list,
Yes.
right? That's your number one asset. Your social media following is so important. I talked to you about that as well.
Yes.
The audience, the target audience.
Yes.
Who is your audience, right? All those things are so essential to understand how to really build something of solid foundation, because your relationships are everything in this business. And most people don't really know that, you know?
Right.
And more importantly, no matter what strategy you choose, make sure you focus on mastering those skill sets.
Yeah, because you got to ask yourself this question. If, let's say, the company that you signed up with right now disappeared tomorrow, what would you still have? If the answer to that question I just asked you was nothing, then you don't have a business. You don't have a business. You have a job with a very shaky job security.
Ooh, that's scary. That's very scary. You know, listen, the most resilient entrepreneurs, okay, we know what to focus on. We focus on solving specific problems for specific audiences.
Yeah.
Message, match the market, like what I
Right.
always talk about.
Right.
Right? It's for a reason, guys. All right? The vehicle, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether it's network marketing, or your own products, is secondary to your ability to connect with people with solutions.
And it is, Rich, you're right, because that's why diversification isn't just a buzzword, it's a necessity. So smart entrepreneurs have multiple streams of income. We teach that, right? But maybe that's representing more than one company, having your own information products, doing affiliate marketing, or even offering your own services.
Yeah, but remember that your value, guys, okay? Remember this.
Yeah.
Your value isn't in the products you sell. Let me just say that again, because I think a lot of people are going to be like, what? What do you mean by that? You know, I had to learn this too. I get it. Trust me. Okay. The value is not in the products that you sell. It is in the ability to lead, educate, and solve problems. That's something no company can take away from you.
Right, because we're always
At all.
talking about solving problems.
Yep.
And that's what it is. If you are trying to figure out what kind of business to get in or what niche should I get involved in, well, at that point, you got to know what problems are out there, right? But here's the thing, like we said, we're going to talk about the mindset shifts, Rich. So what mindset shifts do you need to navigate this business transition? Because it's going to require something, right? So let's talk about the psychological aspects of dealing with business transitions, because this is where most people struggle, like all the time. And we're seeing it right now in the news feed. I mean, come on, it's Facebook. It's public. There's no hiding it. It's public. There's a
Everybody's
press
trying
release.
to, it's like,
Everybody knows about what happened.
yeah,
and so
everybody's trying to walk on eggshells.
Yeah,
and
people want to be nice
Yeah.
and things like that. But let's get into it,
let's
because
just be real about it, right?
this is something that people need to understand. Like yesterday, somebody sent me a message that says, "Asa, Rich, are you guys going to talk about this?" And I said to the person, I said, "I don't know yet. Let me figure that out, because first of all, I see what people are doing, and we already know what's coming down the gauntlet. We already been through this, so we don't want to do what everyone else is doing. So we're going to talk about the mindset that a person should acquire if they're going through this right now. Because like we said, blood on the streets, it's DEFCON 4. What do we do right now at this point?" And it's a Saturday, okay? And the news came out yesterday. So let's talk about it.
Well, when something like this happens, I mean, it's easy to fall into like the victim mentality. And the mindset just starts to shift to like a negative concept immediately. And it's like, oh, my company did this to me, or I lost everything because, they made bad decisions. And while, that frustration is valid, it's just not productive. It's not going to help you, right? But I get your frustration, trust me.
Yeah, you've been through it.
Yeah.
You shared about it on stage when you told everybody what happened.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
But the first mindset shift is taking radical responsibility. Take responsibility. Yes, you didn't cause the company to close down, but you are responsible for how you positioned your business and how you respond right now.
Now, you said something here that's
Yeah.
important. You
Yes.
said your business.
Yes.
Again, my mentor a long time ago told me, he said, Rich, do you want to build a network marketing business
There you go.
or do you want to build a business? And of course, me being brand new at the time,
Right.
I said my network marketing, because I was in network marketing business back then. And he said, no. He says, you want to build your business.
See?
This is how you build a business on solid
See?
foundation, because when you build your business, you don't answer to any other business,
Right.
but your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Powerful. So, I mean, well, second, accepting that nothing lasts forever, okay?
it doesn't.
All right, we all know
Yeah.
that. We've had some great companies in the past we were affiliates of, and I wish they were still around today.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, things don't last forever. Just like the good die young, right? Good companies just don't last forever; they die out too.
Yeah.
And we see some great ones. We really have.
Yes.
But again, everything is temporary.
Right.
Platforms change.
Yes, they do.
Companies evolve or disappeared,
Yes.
or they add new trends because trends shift all the time.
True.
The only constant is change itself.
Yeah.
Right?
And when we went through our own major business pivot back in 2018, it was terrifying. We had to build so much in one direction, and suddenly we had to reinvent. And we're not talking about reinventing the wheel. We're talking about ourselves, our individual leadership, because what got us through was our commitment to our core mission rather than focusing on any specific vehicle.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, that leads into the third shift. Focusing on your mission over your method.
Yes.
It sounds simple, but a lot of people really forget this quite a bit. It's just when I focus on a mission, that mission has to be bigger than anything else.
Yes.
No matter what the company is doing or what happened or whatever circumstances that you're dealing with, right? If your mission is helping, let's say, busy parents create financial freedom,
Right.
that mission can be fulfilled through countless vehicles. Don't fall in love with the method.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
What I want you to really fall in love with is actually your mission.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to fall in love with. Like, what is your mission? Like, what is your purpose, right? And also, it sounds cliche, but it goes back to what is the why? What is the reasoning that's driving you to that mission, right?
Right. And another critical component of your mindset shift is seeing setbacks as setups. Every industry, disruption creates opportunity. Okay. The doors are not fully closed. The people who move quickly and adapt often find themselves in even a better position than before.
Oh, well, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's like a blessing in disguise if you think about
but
it.
at the time, you don't really know. You
don't think about
you
that
don't
as
feel
stuff.
that because you're so
Right.
pissed off and upset.
Yeah,
and you're
I
you're
know.
when you just want to put your hair out. You know what I mean? But finally, understand that your community is your true asset. And Ace, you've always talked about this all the time.
I have.
It's like, you always say, like, I'm the glue that keeps the family together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so true because it is about building community. Community is everything. Because if you build genuine relationships with your audience,
That's what it's
they'll
about.
follow you to new opportunities because they trust you.
It's true.
Not just the products you represent. Again, it's all about you. And you said the same thing too, and I said the same thing, that it's really about you specifically that they follow, not the products.
Right. No, yeah, that's true. That's true. So what practical steps should you take right now if you're thinking about it if your company closed down? Let's get tactical here. All right, Ace and Rich style. If you're watching this because your company just closed down, or you're catching a replay on another social network.
Or you're in risk of your company closing down.
That's right. Or you're worried that it might happen. Okay, here are the exact steps that you should take immediately. Okay?
Okay, step one. And this is something that I did, and I want you guys to do the same thing. I don't care if you think your company's going to be around forever. There's no guarantees in life whatsoever. You should know that right from the get-go when you sign up to any company. Okay? What I did was I documented everything while everything was up and running and it was vibrant. It was kicking. Everything was going great, man. right? Everything was just awesome. Doesn't matter. I documented everything. I screenshot everything in the back office. I did everything, okay? And I want to make sure that I save all the things that I know that I'm going to need regardless. My customers list, my leads, everything that I own. All right, because it's important to always have communication. Not only that, but you need it for your tax purposes too. Right. And once you start potentially rebuilding.
Absolutely. And you know what? Also, those commission screenshots to save everything.
Oh, we did.
All your whole back office commissions, because you're going to need that.
I got it in my backup drive.
Yeah, any audio recordings, that you might have saved from your trainings, that you talk with some leaders or stuff like that. Stuff is important to have.
Any results that you've gotten, those are your results. Those are real results. You make sure you screenshot everything. I don't even care if you just earn like $20, some $1, right? I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. You screenshot everything. Because that is your own social proof.
It is. Step 2, you want to communicate with transparency. Keep it real. Reach out to your team members and your customer base with open honesty. Listen. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't immediately start pitching something new and acknowledge the disappointment everyone's feeling. Don't do that. It's not going to help anything.
No, it's not. It's not. We see people do that right away.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. But here's step 3, guys. Assess your financial situation, realistically, right? And how long can you sustain without that income? What immediate adjustments do you need to make? Be honest, okay, about how this now prevents a bigger problem later. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret about how I run my business and everything else like that, our business, right? I always look a few months ahead of time. I always like to look at things ahead of time. I look to the future as far as like, okay, there's income coming in, everything's going great, 10, 20 grand, 50 grand, awesome, right? I don't care how much money. I need to know a few months in advance how everything's going today. Okay? Because I'm not going to wait to the last minute when a company shuts down and I'm like, whoa, I didn't prepare myself.
Oh, yeah.
That's a clue for you guys. All right.
Yep. Step 4, take inventory of your transferable assets, your skills, your audience, your content library, all of those, downloads, your systems and your processes. And I'm talking about your own system and processes because these all have value beyond any specific company. Very important.
Yeah. And step 5, guys, research options methodically. This is where people often make panic decisions and they just jump on emotions too quickly, right? Not saying I don't want you to sit back and wait a while because you don't want to wait, too long.
Right.
But you also, you want to assess the situation, okay? And you don't want to, be emotional and go, well, I got to do something. I got to jump over here. And then guess what? It's like the worst choice you've made. And it made matters worse, even worse than what it was before.
Right.
So you got to be really, really careful when you're in this state of mind. All right. Take the time, okay, to vet and look at new opportunities before jumping in and bringing your team along.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely. I met with my coach earlier today, and he even said that the worst thing to do right now is to literally make a panic decision. Leaders don't panic, okay? They really don't, which leads me into the most important step, number 6. Focus on serving, not selling. Write that down. Focus on serving, not selling. Donald, you are watching me live. Focus on serving, not selling. The fastest way to rebuild that trust and momentum that you once had is by continuing to provide exceptional value, even when you don't have something to sell. You feel me? This positions you for much greater success when you do introduce a new opportunity.
The funny thing is, the more you try not to sell is when you'll start selling. I know that sounds kind of backwards, but that's what really happens. Because if you do it right, you provide the right value, you're going to see that attraction factor kick in.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, we are going to take a couple questions
we got
right
some
now.
comments too. I want to get to.
We got some comments. All right, you look at the comments, I'll look at
Well,
the questions.
I'm excited because I got my dual screen back here together again. I love it. We're doing the one monitor thing for a while. Now the dual screen is back, and this is a lot more efficient. Works a lot better.
Yeah, let me try that.
Yeah.
There it is right there.
Yeah, you don't have to be like this and squint your
Yep.
eyes.
Candace Tran says, build your own brand so you can't be affected or touched by something like this.
Yes, and here's the thing, guys, too. You develop skill sets over time, and that's because you took the time to invest in yourself, learn how to build your brand, learn how to give value.
Yeah, post your questions below.
You're learning your skill sets and everything, which are very, very important. But I'm gonna tell you something. There's times that we focus on the skill sets immediately before the brand.
Yeah.
Let me get into that a little bit because this is going to be an important value conversation for you. Some people say like the most important thing is building a brand. It's kind of like a 50-50. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're first starting out, you can't build your brand fairly quickly. It's not like, okay, I'm going to build my brand. I have my brand. It doesn't work that way. It's something that takes time. But in that process that it takes time, you want to focus on what can I do to get a result. That's part of my brand building, right? That again leads back to what skill sets are you going to focus on to get the results that you're looking for, and then maximize that, right? Which is part of being uncomfortable and growing.
Right, exactly. Mark says, I am going to keep hanging around my company program until I get it right.
Where did you say that?
Right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. He put the name too.
He did.
You know what? I'll put the name out there.
Okay.
Yeah, PLS affiliate. Yeah, absolutely. That company's been around like forever.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes.
I've seen companies come and go.
Yes.
And they're still going. You know why? Because they focus on the affiliate and they focus on what works.
Yes.
Okay?
Candace says every job can be gone in seconds. It's true.
A job, a
Business?
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what though? As you become an entrepreneur and you start getting seasoned a little bit and you start to understand things a little bit more clearly, you start to shape your mindset to see more opportunity than problems. Because we're wired to see the negative side of things more than the actual opportunities.
Right.
But as you become an entrepreneur, you start to learn how to see more opportunity than those problems and that negativity.
Absolutely. Michelle says, talk to others in that company and ask if they are happy. How long have they been in the company and are they pleased with their return on investment? Very good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure there's people right now that are not happy because you got to understand something. Maybe they just got in.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Yeah.
Right? That hurts. I mean, if you're just getting in and you're learning and you're trying to figure some things out,
Right.
and then you're starting to get excited, you're happy, you're pumped up,
Right.
right? And all of a sudden, it gets shut down.
Right.
You're like, well, wait a minute, I just got started. I'm happy. I just got excited, and it's like your high just went from like a way up here down to like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But right off the cuff, I can think about when it happened to me. Like I said, the emotions are real.
Yeah.
Tears of sadness and tears of joy for some. And, a lot of people actually couldn't wait for this to happen, right? Maybe this is your wake-up call. Maybe this is an answer you've been waiting for, but you just needed something to put your back against the wall. Others are not even thinking that way and just like, okay, whatever, it happened, so I'm ready to move forward. But keep in mind, it's a long time that you've been in these companies. You've got a lot of great memories, a lot of great live events you went to, a lot of great relationships you built over time, a lot of friendships, a lot of partnerships, right? And the thing is, the people that you trusted the most, that pretty much stabbed your ass in the back, okay? And
the ones that let you down. Yeah.
They let you down. Like, you know who your true friends are. You're going to know. In times like this, you're going to see who's real and who's faking it.
Now, we went through that with one company, which was an MLM company. I'm not going to put any names on you, throw them under the bus, but I remember we were about to close a really big deal, and they stabbed us in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been through it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But again, we had the skill sets on the internet, so we knew how to pivot, right? After that situation.
We adjusted. Was it easy? Hell no.
No.
It wasn't. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to
No.
sugarcoat it.
No.
It was not easy. But here's the thing. You have something that company will never take away. Do you know what that is? Your skill set. They want you bad. You developed so much experience over the years that your skill set is a valuable asset now. And you know what that means, guys? You can start creating your own courses, trainings, and things that you want to do. And you can charge what you want to charge because you get what you're worth.
And I remember when we got flown, to Florida to look at a company. And I remember that when we were at the table with the owner of the company and stuff like that, they didn't know who I was.
See?
And then when they found out who I was, they got really excited, right? Now, how would someone know who I am that I've never met before? I want you to answer that question. How would someone know about me, owner of a company, people working for that company, know about me? Well, didn't know about me until they found out my name. And they're like, oh, we heard of you. And they got really excited when they found out. You remember that?
I remember.
And they were like, and you were like, who are you? Because we just got together and stuff like that. and I was like, well, I mean, I've been on the internet for a while, so, but why would a company owner and why would people that work for this company know me? And I've never been to this company ever, right? I've never met these people. It's because they heard my name from someone else.
Right on.
But why? It was because of my brand. It was because of my skill sets.
Yes.
It was because of what I've done over the years, right? The way that I built my brand, with integrity, with honesty.
Right.
Okay? And people never forgot who I was. Even still to this day, they don't forget who I am, right? And you learned that when I was coaching you and stuff like that. So understand, if you listen to what I'm saying, you're going to get it. Because if you build your brand the right way, and the way you do it is you build up your skill sets and you never give up and you get good at it, okay? And you apply those skill sets and get uncomfortable. And then you build that attraction factor. Your name will get around because people will start talking about you.
Oh, yeah. They're looking for them right now.
I went on Google the other day and I saw Ace and Rich being shared to websites I've never even seen and saying good things about us from people I've never met.
Isn't that something?
That is just awesome.
That's the power of the internet. Word of
Now,
mouth.
did these people on the website buy from us? No, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you guys to get that.
It's something that we're doing or saying that is literally getting people to want to talk more about us. I mean, it's like going to a movie, right? We know about this, network marketers. You like a good movie, you tell someone about it, you get paid a payback or some kind of commission for referring them, right? Not exactly, because that's a movie. But in network marketing, when you sell the physical product, you get paid for actually referring and giving a good endorsement of that product. And you make a small commission.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to this, you've got a lot to learn about failure. Failure is not the end all be all. It is actually feedback. All right. So you learn a little bit of this mistake, but it's not your fault. Don't take it that way either. Don't think what happened, which is out of your control, your fault. Matter of fact, anybody that's watching this live right now and watching a replay, like we said, you can take responsibility for how you positioned yourself for the business, but don't blame this particular shutdown on yourself, because you did it for yourself and you did it for your family. You stuck it out until the wheels fell off, and you did the right thing. The wheels fell off. Now it's time to move on. Don't wait too long. Do not wait too long, and don't be like these people who are like, oh, I'm going on vacation. I'm done with network marketing. Hey, listen, if you're done with network marketing, if that's the case, fine. You're done with it. Maybe you're ready for a new leaf. Maybe you're ready for a new career. Maybe you're ready for a new challenge, a new change. But be ready, because you have a lot of people counting on you still. A lot of people who trusted you. A lot of people who want to still work with you, regardless of what company you go with. So choose wisely. Like Rich said, vet these companies first. Don't jump on the first thing and the first bandwagon. Listen, there's a lot at stake here. Whether you have your first customer or your 100th, make sure you make the right decision.
Yeah, you have a picture of me, I know, on one of the companies that I was in, like on a suit and a tie. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find it to show them, but I have so many pictures, it's going to be hard to
We
find.
got some more comments popping in here. Donald Kane says, I'm looking for a good high ticket because I'm following your lead by doing different businesses.
Absolutely. One of the high tickets we're running right now is paying literally $1,500 off a $2,000 sale. Where have you heard that before? I mean, look at the amount of percentage that you're getting for that high ticket.
Exactly.
I mean, the technology that's being advanced also with what we're using is changing the industry.
We got feedback here. Richard Osborne says, I think Saturdays work out for me because now I can concentrate on doing DoorDash.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about it and see if Saturday is better for us to go live.
Instead of Fridays.
Yeah.
We'll see. Says here, I'm sticking with HBA and Nexus Rewards program until I start making money.
Now, the HBA is a good program. It does build residual and stuff like that, but it's not high ticket. And we're definitely discussing high ticket on that comment.
Yeah. Michelle says, because you have built the know, like, and trust with your people. Absolutely, Michelle. Yes.
Yep. Good point.
People talk about the good and the bad, and you guys are the best. Oh, thank you so much. And that's what we want to do, is just convey the information in a different format tonight, because I'm seeing a lot of people that are saying some things, that are genuine and authentic versus ones that are actually copy and paste and they want to make you feel good and all warm and fuzzy when they really didn't give a shit about you when you first started your business in the first place.
Not only that, but
you got to watch out for those guys.
And this is to all the companies right now that, or all the distributors in these companies that you've lost. Okay.
Yeah.
And the companies that you lost in the past or that you're losing right now, I'm going to tell you something. Be careful. There's going to be a lot of people pretending to be your friends just to try to get you into their business.
That's right.
They're going to prey upon you, okay, because you're wounded right now, and be very careful because they don't. 9 out of 10, they just don't really care. They just look at you like a number.
They do.
So you know.
So like we said, ask all the questions necessary that you need to do. You don't have to go to the owner of the company, try to cut a deal and all that jazz. Listen, you got great relationships. You got great connections. There's no need to call the owners of the company and try to cut a deal. Stop that. Look where it got you. You know what I mean? Like if it happened, it happened. That's it. Move forward. Start connecting. And I said this to you earlier today when we were training. I said, if you're looking for a new opportunity, how about the little guy? How about that person that didn't get to that level of the rank that you are, but they're involved in another opportunity of which you can bank and you can make money faster, okay, with a higher ticket, and you don't need as much to put into it and get your money back. If you're at that dire straight situation where you're like, holy shit, I got to pay the mortgage, okay? And you're like, at that point, you better know what to do.
There are people,
you feel me?
There are people out there right now that are at that situation.
They are.
And my advice to you is get in a high ticket and bring your people over so that way you could earn some commissions fairly quickly. Not only that, but you could also help those people out become excellent marketers.
Absolutely. Because that's what I would have done. That's what I would have done.
That's right.
Would have done that. But I'm not in network marketing. Matter of fact, I believe, Rich, I left network marketing. The last network marketing company I was involved with was in 2011.
Yeah.
Talk about a long time
that's been
ago.
A while, yeah.
2011, I gave it up. I said, you know what? That's it. I don't want to do this anymore. And I just want to try a new leaf. And I decided to do affiliate marketing. And if I hadn't made that shift in my mindset to ready for a challenge, ready for a new change, ready for something completely opposite of what was taught, I would never be the ace, the coach ace that I am today with what I'm doing and helping and changing people's lives, because that's what it is, guys, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, you're changing people's lives.
Changing people's lives.
Whether you're selling a product that helps them lose weight or gain it. Or you're helping them with their health and their cholesterol, lower their blood pressure so they don't have to be on those blood pressure pills, or get them off of pills so they don't have to be on diabetic. You're changing lives with the product.
And even, even some network marketing companies.
Yeah.
I still believe in some network marketing companies. They're still out there, and they sell great vitamins too. Like I said, I don't want to say names, but
No.
there was a company that I took vitamins before. I felt great. I mean, you guys lack of energy. Network marketing company vitamins.
Yeah. You won't find them in stores. They have great products.
I know, right?
But support each other during this time. If you need counseling and talk to somebody, look to your left, look to your right, find that person that's been with you from the beginning, that they're still hanging in there. You're able to talk to them. If you need a shoulder to cry on, then a shoulder to cry on. But listen, this is not the end.
And not only that, but you have people out there right now that this also has happened in affiliate. Like, again, we talked about it in affiliate marketing companies too in the past. Mm-hmm. And there's people that have completely given up. And if you're watching this replay or you're watching this right now and you're saying, I was part of something in the past and I just lost all hope. What I say to you is don't lose all hope, because there's always that itch. There's always something inside that says, I want to do this again.
Yeah.
And never give up on your dreams, because you're about this close away from success. Just like that image we see with the guy mining for diamonds.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he just picked at the wall just one time and he gave up.
Yes.
He put it down,
mm-hmm.
He walked away, and then there was just a sliver left, and then all the diamonds were right on the other side.
And I'll leave you with this. I said that this might be a blessing in disguise. Think about the timing. The year is 2025, and everybody is using artificial intelligence. Marinate on that. Because what it took a network marketer typically 9-10 years ago to do manually, you now can do in seconds with artificial intelligence at your disposal, at your leisure, to help you build things a lot quicker.
And we have that. And we actually help people build their businesses with that technology.
Absolutely. So if you found value in tonight's conversation, do us a quick favor and give us some fire emojis at the comments. I see people over here who knows.
And if you're watching on YouTube, comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification bell, so that way you do not miss any videos. That way we can notify you and let you know.
As always, I'm Ace Guzman.
And I'm Rich Guzman.
And we'll see you next time on Ace and Rich Live. And don't forget, 8 o'clock every Friday. And please bring your questions to us. We love answering your questions. Thank you to our audience for coming here on a Saturday. You guys could be doing something else. You tuned in tonight. We appreciate you. Love you. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend.
We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.